Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Another beautiful day is in store to end out the last weekend of summer. Fall is just around the corner, but are we going to be seeing fall-like temperatures? Keep it here. We'll have a look at that 7-day coming up in just a bit.
Oh my goodness, did she just say the last weekend in summer? We're not ready for it. Brittany, thank you. Coming up on your news this Sunday morning, come home Hugo, a 6-month-old puppy dog kidnapped at a hotel in D.C. Police now offering money to return the pup home. We have the latest on that. And that's not a runway. The unusual reason why I-66 had to be shut down. And later on, looking for a job? This position will pay you just for signing up. All right, it is 6 o'clock here in Washington, D.C. Thanks so much for waking up with us there. The White House clearly still asleep because it's still dark across our nation's capital, but not for long. Let's bring in Brittany Ward on the conversation. Brittany, can we just get a carbon copy, a complete copy and paste of what we had yesterday into today? Because it was absolutely gorgeous outside.
Yeah, you know, Joe, it was beautiful out there yesterday. And the good news is we're going to be seeing that as we head into today. Just a tad bit warmer today than we were yesterday, but take a look at satellite and radar. If you looked at satellite and radar yesterday, we saw a few clouds make their way into our area as we head into our morning, but right now we're mostly seeing clear skies out there, so overall it's shaping out to be a beautiful start to our Sunday. Now that high pressure that was sitting on top of us on Friday has started to make its way down to the south. We're keeping our eye out though on that cold front that's attached to that low off to the west. That's going to move into our area as we head into our Monday afternoon, bringing us some light showers and a few thunderstorms. But if you are heading outside the door today, mainly seeing clear skies across the board, except for those mountain regions, still seeing some patchy fog out there. So just keep an eye on that when you are heading out the door today. So overall, our day is going to be beautiful, but keep it here. I'll have that fall forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, that is Brittany Ward to start us off. As always, Brittany, thank you. Developing this morning, the search for a stolen puppy. D.C. police say 6-month-old Hugo was stolen from a woman's hotel room on Friday. This is Hugo up on your screen. He's described as a gray and white dog whose left ear doesn't always stand up. You saw there in the pictures. This all happened at the Embassy Suites by Hilton in Georgetown. Hugo's owner says she has epilepsy, and the French bulldog who she says she paid $4,000 for is her companion animal. The man who supposedly took Hugo was caught on camera leaving the hotel with the puppy. There is now a $1,000 reward from police for anybody who can help investigators find and arrest that person who's up on your screen. We have all of those photos of the dog and the suspect on our website at DC News Now. Continuing on this morning, new details on that massive brawl at a high school football game. That is cell phone footage from the Gaithersburg High School versus Northwest High game. Now we are learning that both school football programs, both of the high schools, have been suspended as police and school officials investigate the situation. Neither team will be allowed to play at home or even away games, and it's not entirely clear yet when they'll be able to resume. Montgomery County Public Schools released a statement on the issue calling it abhorrent and unacceptable behavior and said they'll be announcing updated safety measures for athletic events in the coming days. At least one person was arrested in all of that craziness there, who police say had a knife. The game was canceled due to the fight. And hey, new this morning, take a look at this. I-66 in Warren County, Virginia, shut down for something that doesn't happen every day. A plane that needed to make an emergency landing used the highway as a runway. Virginia State Police say the private plane's engine failed. The pilot, who was the only person on board, was not hurt during the landing, but traffic was blocked off for about an hour. The plane's been taken to a mechanic to investigate the reason for the engine failure. All right, turning now to the race for Maryland governor. We are just 51 days away from voters heading to the polls. At the top of their ballot, a choice. Who to succeed? Two-term Republican Governor Larry Hogan. This November, it is Democrat Wes Moore on the right-hand side of your screen versus Republican Dan Cox on the left. In an exclusive interview, our political and government reporter Leonard N. Fleming sat down with both of the candidates. Take a listen.
There are certain crime spikes in Maryland, and it's a serious issue in this year's governor's race. Democrat Wes Moore says community policing is one of the answers. Talk about the importance of crime and how you, as governor, will deal with it.
You know, it's a real challenge throughout many parts of the state. And the thing that we know is the way we're going to have to deal with it is within partnership. There are local jurisdictions need a partner in Annapolis to help to deal with these issues.
And the parole and probation system needs retooling.
We have to have a state that's willing to work in partnership, fix the Department of Parole and Probation, fix the fact that we have over 150 vacancies in the Department of Parole and Probation, and get these violent offenders off of our streets and get these illegal guns out of our communities.
Republican Dan Cox supports community policing too, but police hiring shortages is the real culprit.
Well, actually, Leonard, I have supported community policing and have put that on my website. I've put it on my my crime reduction plan because I believe in it. I believe in the fact that we need to have our officers living in the community, if at all possible. And right now, sadly, they're down 800 officers in Baltimore City. So when I'm talking about, in addition to community policing, when I'm talking about increasing police officers, it's not increasing them inappropriately, it's simply making up the gaps.
Recruitment of law enforcement is also a problem in Moore's eyes.
You have to make sure that you're also using the bully pulpit of the governor's office wisely, where one of the main recruitment tools that we are going to have is going to be a chief executive who is trying to encourage people to join the profession.
To Cox, there's a reason the numbers are falling.
Why? Because my opponent's position, along with the Democrat position, sadly, and I say the left position is more like it because not every Democrat agrees with this. A lot of Democrats agree with more safety. And the position tends to be to defund the police or to transfer funds, which I think is defunding the police, out of policing into social services. Well, I want to restore qualified immunity fully, and the reason for that is because our police are already subjected to a violation of their Fifth Amendment rights. I mean, they're the only community in America, or excuse me, in Maryland, that has to testify under oath, regardless of whether they want to or not.
The number one job of any chief executive is public safety. The number one job is ensuring that people can feel safe, that nothing else is more important than that. And for the people who are wearing the uniform, this is a public service. As the chief executive, we are going to demand that we have a policing force that moves in appropriate intensity, absolute integrity, and full accountability. We also know we're never going to arrest or militarize our way out of this problem. There are larger challenges that we also have to deal with simultaneously, and that includes things like making sure you have an education system that's actually training students and preparing students for the work of now and for the work of tomorrow.
Cox says there's money available without hiking taxes.
So how do you pay for more increased funding for police? Where does that come from?
So right now in the Maryland State Treasury, there's $7.5 billion surplus. This is a good thing, but we don't need to sit on that money or spend it recklessly. I think it needs to go into our core infrastructure, and that would include our police.
In Maryland, Leonard N. Fleming, DC News Now.
All right, Leonard, with those two exclusive interviews. Leonard, thank you so much. All right, we have all heard about baby boomers and Generation X. How about Boomerang Kids? Even as college students plan for the next chapter of their lives after graduation, that degree doesn't guarantee them a job, and that is forcing many young adults to move back in with their parents. That's why they're being referred to as Boomerang Kids, based on returning back to where it all started. One of those kids, 25-year-old Zoe Zarenda, graduated more than 3 years ago. She now works for a pharmaceutical company from her parents' house, but this was not her original plan. Take a listen.
Most of the people I graduated with live at home with their parents, and a lot of them also work full-time.
Zoe's parents, don't blame her since they know it's a different world than when they graduated. She says it was comforting to know that she has family to come home to. I got family to come home to every weekend because I get to be here with Brittany. What's going on, Britt?
Hey, Joe, how are you doing this morning?
Oh, my goodness. I'm doing awesome, and I'm really good because the weather's going to be awesome today. We never have 2 straight days of great weather on the weekend.
You know, that is true. You take a look at these temperatures where most of us are heading out the door. We're already seeing them in the lower 70s by 7 o'clock. Then we begin to warm up by 9, getting into the upper 70s. Overall, our highs today will get into the 80s, and we're going to be seeing mostly clear skies out there. So it's going to be a beautiful Sunday fun day.